We go there, I'm tired.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here. Here. Okay, this portion of tonight's meeting is a public hearing with respect to our application for a community development block grant for the proposed docks and pavilion project. The proposed project will help fund improvements to Thurston Park, including 5 new permanent docks and construction of a 70 by 40 pavilion with storage and public restrooms at 2484 North Main Street. Local match funding in the amount of $20,000 will pay for engineering at both the dock and pavilion sites. The proposed project will not result in the displacement of any persons. Is there any public comment? Anyone on the council have any questions? I move that we adjourn the public hearing with no response.
I'll support.
Been moved and supported. And any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has carried. I'll call the regular meeting, Wednesday, August 9th, to order. We'll forego the pledge since we just said it. Roll call, we'll forego since nothing has changed. And I need a motion to approve the agenda, but we have some additions to this. In the council's packet, originally we had A through J. We actually had A through K. K has been scratched. And tonight we are adding to that. L, approved Reith Riley bid of $58.63 for the paving of Ballard Street. M, approved paying Dean Crandall $9,160 for the work done on the North Street Trail project. N is approved the Central Lake Development Plan. O, approved the Community Development Block Grant Program Resolution. And one more, P, MML Annual Meeting Delegate. I'll explain a little bit more in my president's report what that regards. So, need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll support.
Been moved and supported. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Minutes of the July 12th regular board meeting. Need a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion and a support. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion to approve the Wednesday, July 12th regular board meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has carried. We have the special board meeting from Thursday, July 20th at 5:30. The purpose of this meeting was to hire an grant administrator for the Rising Tide CDBG grant, which we did do, and that was the only thing that was on the agenda for that meeting. I need a motion to approve the special board meeting on July 20th.
I'll make that motion. Support.
Been moved and supported. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. All righty. Public comment. Anybody like to say anything? We will move on. Scott, police report.
Thank you. Hopefully everybody got a chance to look at the report. Couple things, it kind of seems a little odd talking about the 4th of July, but this is obviously July's report, so report back to you on that. Went really well, kind of a long day, but we have maybe just a couple of just typical complaints. The other thing on here listed, we talked last meeting about sending some reports to the village attorney, so as of today, 4 of them have gone there. So we've got 4 out of over 150 some complaints is related to ordinance issues. So I was told that Brian's someone on vacation, so he'll probably get to looking at those next week or so. So based on his recommendations, he'll either ship them a reminder letter, last chance reminder letter, or just give us the green light to issue some citations. So that's where we are with the ordinance issues. So actually 3 of them are ordinance issues, 1 of them happens to be a zoning violation. So any questions? Great, thank you.
Sam?
You guys all should have a copy of my report. I don't have it with me. The water main is all in the ground. You'll notice it's kind of a short report. The reason being is we had lots of live water lines going different direction down roads that we never knew we had. So when we find them, we have to actually cut them off, see which way the water's flowing, and see if we take somebody out of water before we even think about putting the line back together. So the last 2 weeks have been real rough on the water. Road paving will start tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, and they're hoping to be out of here by late Friday night with all the paving. And then Tri-County will come in and do the rest of their restoration, and we should, to bring driveways back up to grade and the yards seed and mulched, and we should be in pretty good shape at that point. So I'm thinking within 2 weeks, Tri-County will probably be submitting their final pay, if I had to guess. And I got one street light out across from Brian Patton's barber shop. They said they're gonna warranty it, one of our LED lights. I sent it to someplace in Arkansas, I forget where it was. So I haven't heard back from them. As soon as I get caught up, I'm gonna call them and find out what the word on that street light is. Any questions?
Good job, sorry.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, wait.
Yes.
I'll talk about item 4 on there, the day park bathrooms being a mess. Lyle and I have talked about it, I've talked about it with Scott, so I'll keep that in mind.
Move on. Corey's not here for a DDA report. Lyle, campground?
Well, the month of July was very busy. We had 141 sites rented out, and of course, that don't reflect the total number because some of those are multiple weeks or days on a site. We had 315 adults in there and 76 kids. So we're very active. Then we've had a couple of problems down there. We had some loud people that was taken care of. And we had a problem with one of our drains, and Rob knows about it, and Jennifer knows about it, and I was able to unplug it the other day, but I still think it ought to be looked at. I haven't heard from the plumber, have you, Rob?
No.
I am.
So you're telling me he's never come out?
Nobody has showed up, nobody has called me. The day park bathrooms have been a problem in the mornings, and it happened after I opened up. I opened those up after I cleaned the other bathrooms, and Sam goes in there and he finds a mess when they go in to clean it up, so. I think I know what's taking place, but we're trying to keep an eye on things. But it has been a problem. Other than that, status quo down there. We're fairly busy right now. We're full next, we were full this last weekend, we're full this coming weekend. And according to reservations, we should be full every weekend right through until right after Labor Day. So it's been a good year. Very, very, very few problems. The stuff that we've had, we've been able to take care of.
Anybody have anything else for Lyle?
I've been talking to Lyle about, we need to put some gutters on the east side of the new bathhouse. So we need to get a couple estimates. We're getting too much water in front of the doors. And so I think we should get some gutters put on there.
Have you had very many comments on how the park looks now with the improvements?
I've had a lot of comments, positive comments on the construction we've had down there, and the way the park looks, the bathrooms, and all, it's been all positive so far.
Anybody have anything else for Lyle? Correspondence, I've got a couple of things, but I'm gonna talk about them in my report, so we'll skip that at this point. Committee reports, Lyle, streets.
Sam's been doing a good job out there, taking care of everything, and looks like everything, the only thing I had was already on the agenda for Reeve and Riley approval. Everything's looking good, Sam.
Sewer and water, Leila?
I have no comments since I've been off quite ill for the last month, and I've lasted 2 minutes. So I would say any questions you have, Sam could be more than willing to answer. I'm way behind on what I should be doing. I apologize, but
We're glad to have you back.
Don't
Thank you.
apologize.
Bill, law enforcement?
Just some statistics. Last year, well, as of last year, we finished the year at 36.9% increase from the previous year. And right now, as of today's date, we are 60.6% over last year at this time.
That's complaints.
That's events altogether.
Actual complaints, not events.
Complaints.
We'll probably finish the end of the month more than we had last year, so we're just, I mean, I knew we were kind of busy, but when I looked it up, I'm like, holy smokes, you know, a lot of them have to do with ordinance issues. I've been working a lot harder this year too, so each one of those got a complaint number, so, but still, it generates time, it does a report, and so, Don's keeping busy, so I think we're both kind of are, so.
And I think that's all I got.
Okay, Melissa's not here. Brian?
I don't have anything.
Rob, Park?
Like Lyle stated, that they've been very busy to the point where our revenue as of compared to last year for the month of July was up 7.4%. The hottest sites as of July, where sites 3, 6, 10, 11, 18, and 24 were our highest revenue generators as opposed to last year. So we're obviously doing something right down there. The old kiosk that was at the campground, it's 6 feet wide, 7 feet tall. With the new bathrooms installed, there's no place to put it. It's, you know, now you've got sewer lines, fresh water lines, electrical, and we're just not gonna be able to put that back where we want it to. We thought about mounting it to the side of his trailer, but that impedes the north view of site 14. If we put it in front of Lyle's trailer, he obviously cannot see the bathrooms, so that we couldn't put it there. We talked about putting it down by site 1, by the boardwalk. Well, most of the people won't even see it. So we're just going to continue looking at the wall-mounted units, prices on those, and install those in the off-season. We can repurpose that kiosk and put it up at the new North Street Trail. I'll talk about that in a moment. Lyle and I walked around the campground. We see 3 places we need trees, so I'm going to talk to Pat Hanlon tomorrow at Porcupine Hollow, see what size he's got, how big the root ball is. So again, so we're not hitting a water line, electrical line, or a sewer line, something like that, which invariably probably will happen anyways. 3, let's see, Dean Crandall finished the rough grade of the trail. It's remarkable. I urge everyone just to even walk 50 feet up the trail. It's a beautiful piece of work he did there. It's just incredible. We've already had bikers on it, and people are already hiking it, and it's not even finished yet. So obviously people are going to use it. We did have a work bee yesterday. 7 volunteers showed up to do the manual finish work. That is using shovels and rakes to smooth out where all the tread marks were from the mini excavator. To prevent runoff and have the proper slope. So if you know anybody that has a strong back, send them my way and we can put a rake in their hand. Let's see, also Dean Crandall donated $500 to go towards the trail as well. So I want to thank Dean Crandall publicly for his $500 donation towards the North Street Nature Trail. Some things we have to continue to do before it's a finished product on the nature trail. We have to enlarge the parking lot. I didn't know it'd be that great of a success, and it's great to have it larger than we thought we'd need. We're going to get to moving that old kiosk over there, paint it. We've got to get directional signs, informational signs, such as tree species, the geology of the area, and benches. Let's see. Oh, I want to thank Rachel. She came in on Saturday when the campground computer froze up. She printed the reservation list on the village computer, so that way we weren't down for the whole weekend on a weekend that the campground was full. Again, thank you, Rachel. Let's see, we're Sam's report on the bathrooms down at the day park. We're still looking at the cameras. I've got to get an estimate to see what it would cost to have wireless cameras installed on the outside, so we're not impeding anybody's privacy, but just to see who's, lack of a better term, hanging out at the pavilion, just to see what's going on there. Scott, anything to add there?
I would just add that this last week I was in Elk Rapids, and they have a pretty slick system down there. They monitor their parks. They can go back to the police department, pull it up on a TV screen. They can also monitor it on their phone. So I didn't think of it until you just mentioned that, but it'd be kind of a good maybe trip down there.
Field
to take a
trip?
look at. Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let me write that down. That's all I've got.
Under my report, Gordy Frazier's have provided us with the Davis-Bacon schedule report for the work that's been going on. If anybody wants to review it, it is available. It just shows how much time is being spent and what the workers are getting paid. So that's something that has to be, they have to keep track of. So. The park project is virtually complete as far as the current grant monies are concerned. We do have a sign that has to be installed, and the DNR has asked us to have a ribbon cutting ceremony with that, but they also state that that can be waived. I'm gonna leave that up to them to decide what they wanna do, so. But we may have to have a ribbon cutting for that project. Last week, I went to Northern Lights Economic Alliance and interviewed a potential Vista worker for us, and we thought she was coming until yesterday afternoon, and she received a couple of more job offers, and I'm sure were far more lucrative than what we were providing for her. And there's some people here that are gonna talk a little bit more about that, so. I got an envelope from the Census Bureau for the 2020 asking us if we want to participate in updating, local update of census addresses. And this information is used by the Census Bureau to compile what our community consists of, and that those statistics are used. We have them in a couple of reports that have been used that are in our packets tonight. And I bring it up to you folks. I think what happens with this is if we choose to participate, then they send us what addresses they already have, and then we compare if there's any new addresses to add or delete from that. So I thought it was going to be a little more entailed than what it is after I thought about it and read it a couple of different times. More than likely, I think Rachel and I can provide them with what they're looking for, and it'll ensure that our data is up to date with the census coming in 2020. So. And we learned today that Barnes Park, the campground manager out there, is suggesting that their campers come into Central Lake and use our dump station at our park, which we didn't know until today that was going on. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with this information. It just came in. I bring it to council's attention. It might require a phone call to find out what's going on and if they would like to ask us before they suggest that all of their campers come into town and use our facilities.
He did call me, Larry.
He did? Okay.
He did call, said his tank was gonna be down for 24 hours. And that's all he would need to do, it's the ones that were pulling off.
Okay.
At Barnes Park?
At Barnes Park.
I got the impression it's probably been done in the past as well,
Well,
without us.
it might have been, what,
Yeah, all right.
we got quite a few from the other one on Russian Road too.
And the final thing in my report, I have two things. On July 20th, we had our special meeting to hire a grant administrator for our new CDBG funding. And we got a letter back from MEDC to say that I am pleased to inform you that the village's request to incur administrative expenses for CGA Northern Lakes Economic Alliance Administration, $10,000 has been approved with the following contingencies. Until our grant agreement is executed, any administrative expenditures incurred are at the risk and expense of the village. CDBG funds cannot be used to assist with the preparation of applications. The village will only be reimbursed for eligible administrative costs specified in the administrative contract between the village and the selected administrator. If a grant agreement is not executed, the administrative expenses will not be reimbursed by CDBG. Payment to the administrator is based on negotiated terms between the village and the selected administrator, which could be based on reimbursement from the village or the village's drawdowns from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. CDBG disbursement for administrative expenses will not happen until the environmental review has been completed, the grant agreement has been executed, the pre-disbursement requirements in the grant agreement, and any items requested by the CDBG program manager have been submitted and approved by MEDC. The executed administrative contract has been forwarded to the MEDC. The grant payment request supporting documentation has been submitted and approved by MEDC. This letter is intended only to grant permission to incur the costs mentioned above and is not to be construed as permission to conduct any other project activities, including but not limited to signing contracts, signing purchase orders, or obligating funds in any other manner. Blah, blah. So, we have Northern Lakes Economic Alliance folks here. They are fully aware of this document, so far they haven't done anything in violation and we haven't paid them any money. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. My last item, the Michigan Municipal League Fall Annual Convention is September 13th to 15th, 2017. It's in Holland, and we have rights. If anybody would like to attend, we have voting rights, but I'm assuming that nobody is going to attend. I am not going to. However, if there is interest here, we will pursue this. If not, then item P on the action items will be scratched when we get there. So unless somebody wants to go, it won't make any difference. So, and that's all I have, unless somebody has some questions for me. Okay, we'll move on to approve the bills. We have prepaids of $186,701.25, payroll of $6,315.51, payables $15,879.96, total of $208,896.72. Motion to approve the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
I'll support.
Moved and supported to pay the bills. Roll call, please.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Rowland?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yep.
Becker?
Yes. No new business. Action items. Approve road closure on Maple Street from the alley to Main Street between the Tavern Classic Pizza for August 19th, 2017 from 12 to 3. Chris, would you like to speak?
I spoke to Jay. It's Nozelman's motorcycle group. They're doing a fundraiser for the food pantry out of East Oregon. They said they don't need it that amount of time from noon to 2, and was looking to maybe run from Chestnut to the stop sign so that they can all park in one spot and not be strung out through town. They'll be there for an hour tops and then they're gone, so it'd be easy for me to just go out, throw cones up when they're out of there, pull the cones back out, just so they can all stay in one group and not be spread out all through town and parking out in front of the businesses. And it's just for 2 hours and they're in and out.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to that we approve that quote.
Okay. Any support? Been moved and supported to close Maple Street from Main Street to Chestnut Street between 12 and 2 on August 19th, 2017. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Thanks for doing that, Chris. It brings business in. Appreciate it.
Well, that's for good cause too.
Did you check with Scott and Sam?
I have not yet, no.
Okay.
There you go.
I put it in my phone.
Call me and remind me.
them, it's just the cones, but,
You put them up and you'll pick them up.
yeah, as long as I have access to them.
Super.
Okay, item B is contribution for Vista worker. I'll let Mr. Love and Jessica, I don't remember your last name. Levi. I'll let you guys talk about that and explain to the council kind of what's going on, and we'll take it from there.
I've been designated by the NLEA to kind of head up this project, and I gave you a couple of flyers for information. I'm sorry I didn't bring enough for everybody in the room. I do have a couple of extras with some information, and like any good trained salesperson, I'm going to ask for a referral because, as Larry mentioned, the candidate that we had interviewed earlier, who was a terrific candidate and lived within 3 miles of here, has decided to accept a full-time teaching position rather than pursue the Vista volunteer, and understandable. 2 small children, young family, you know, probably would have made the same decision myself. The Vista volunteer program kind of came about through the Project Rising Tide committee work and the efforts through that. That was, and for those that are familiar with the background on that, as we developed these proposals and projects to kind of help improve the economic impact around Central Lake and some of the efforts that were brought up, we felt there was a need to build capacity or just bring in some help. So Rachel and Larry and whatever volunteer doesn't have everything riding on their shoulders, and through this grant, through the Michigan Nonprofit Association, we were able to fund, successfully apply and get funding for a grant for a Vista volunteer that somebody has to manage, and the NLEA was the logical organization to manage that individual. So the bottom line is there's no cost to the village. This position is funded through the Michigan Nonprofit and the Vista program. We are coming before you with our hat in hand asking for $1,000 for ongoing training needs that are required of the program. So there are 3 required trainings in Lansing, and so any gas stipend or travel expenses incurred in the training would be covered. Any additional travel, depending on where this individual lived, between our office and the village, and any required travel while in the service of her responsibilities in the position, we'd be able to provide some gas card stipends to her. So we have asked other organizations that are partnered in this effort, which is the Grand Traverse Regional Community Foundation. Again, the MEDC has funded part of this, Armor Express and the village of Central Lake, so this is a real collaborative partnership. We would bring in for 1 year somebody that can help move some of these efforts forward that were outlined in Project Rising Tide, and there are 2 required trainings around financial literacy that they would be required to promote throughout the community, and that would be for the greater Antrim County area, so it would involve Mansalona, Bel Air, Central Lake, and on this sheet here kind of outlines what their 4 main responsibilities would be. And then this other was just a kind of a promo piece on the benefits of Vista service, and so if there's anybody on the council or in attendance that might know of an individual who has that kind of service heart, who would have interest to explore this, we've got great information, and I do have this in electronic form that I can share with Rachel to share out, and if there's anybody up here, I'm going to naturally hand this to the 2 ladies. And then these are some of the other promo pieces on what our Vista person would be doing. So our request is for $1,000 to cover some of the training expenses that will be incurred, and we're confident that we'll find the right person that'll be a good fit, and will be able to help the village of Central Lake and work with Larry, work with Rachel, and be the right person.
Any questions?
Well, it sounds like we should go ahead and do it.
Sounds like that to me too. Somebody like to make a motion?
I can make that motion.
All right. Been moved and supported. Any further discussion? This is for $1,000 contribution towards the Bristol worker who will essentially be working full-time for us. There are going to be a few other responsibilities that take that individual elsewhere, but for the most part, it's he or she is ours. So for $1,000 full-time worker, that's a pretty good price, I think.
Are they allowed to use like a rake and a shovel and go out on a trail? Or does it have to be something
Primary.
altruistic?
I think we could put that under economic development.
I'm liking your thinking.
It's primarily, the person will primarily be hired to implement the economic development plan that was a result of Rising Tide. So as far as their work with us, that'll be their focus. I'm not sure it includes rates and shovels. Okay, we have a motion on the floor. All in favor? No, we're spending money. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Lovett,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Becker.
Yes. Approve the Consumers Energy Franchise Ordinance, which everyone received in their packet. And I assume that gentleman is from...
That's me. Hi, Tim Petrosky, I'm the Community Affairs Regional Manager with Consumers.
I knew you.
And how was that? What did I do good?
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. So I'm here tonight to request a renewal of our electric franchise. Many folks, most likely almost everybody, doesn't really know, but in an article in 1963, Michigan Constitution states that utilities such as Consumers Energy need to seek a renewal of their electric franchise. We have typically signed franchises for 30 years. This one was 30 years ago, and thus, like clockwork, somebody like me shows up every 30 years and seeks a renewal. So that's what I'm here tonight, seeking a renewal. It's basically the exact same franchise as it was 30 years ago. A couple of words have changed just because of the times. But aside from that, it's exactly the same. It just allows us to do business in the village, and we follow all the necessary rules and requirements. And with that, I just ask if there's any questions regarding this.
I have one.
Yes?
We currently have how many Cobra heads that we lease from Consumers, Sam?
How many what?
How many Cobra head lights do we lease from Consumers right now?
I don't know what you call Cobra heads.
The lights around the village, we're
Street
leasing
lights.
street lights.
I don't remember off the top of my head now.
Close to 100?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was, I want to say 113, you did an audit, and we actually had less, but that's another story for another time. Do you have any plans to switch them over to LED to save us electricity?
We do not. You switched to LED some lights.
We did in the village, because we privately own them.
I thought, yeah, I was
Yeah,
here
those
years
are
ago.
ours,
when they
yeah,
did that.
that was, I did that.
Yeah, if they're mercury vapors, we are required to change them out, and we will change them out to high-pressure sodium.
Sodium.
At no cost.
Mercury
At no
vapors
cost.
are all
Yeah.
Okay, then there are no plans to change them. That wasn't where I thought you were going with that question.
Well, I'm
There's more,
I'm
okay.
formulating, so would you ever see in the future that we will get LEDs to save a lot of money?
Yes, and when I say yes, we are looking at LED programs because they are more cost efficient, more energy efficient. But we don't have anything that's been approved by the Michigan Public Service Commission at this time to make those offers. Most municipalities I'm aware of, like you, have done it to switch away from us and own their LEDs themselves at this time.
Yeah, but we couldn't, because you said you'd take down all your Cobra heads and your poles, and we had to restring all the wires.
You couldn't, what?
We couldn't buy all of the we couldn't buy all our own hardware, for lack of a better term, because it'd be so cost ineffective, because you'd take all your poles out
Yeah,
and everything else.
there is a cost associated with
Yeah,
us.
that was a
removing our
big
equipment.
cost,
Yes.
so.
Yep.
All right. So no plans at this time.
Nothing on our books that we can offer.
Did the city of Detroit, you switched all their LED, over to LEDs?
That would be Detroit Edison.
That wasn't consumers, how about, what else did you do already? Oh, I didn't know you were coming today.
Well, keep
Oh.
going. This is
Well,
fun. This is
Well, you know
fun.
what, you're lucky, because he's the new light guy, and I gave him my binder, and I'm caught off.
Well, let me make this
And I
suggestion though
apologize.
too, if we do have questions like this, please let me know in advance so I can come prepared to, really dig into it.
I gave you, you don't have my binder.
Not here.
All right, Tim, I've got your number.
Okay, good, and actually I have cards too.
Oh, fresh ones?
Yes.
All right.
I won't.
Any questions, other questions? Do we want to continue with our 30-year service?
We don't have a choice.
That's true, we don't.
I mean, it's just,
We need to do a real out of luck.
The only thing we
Things
could do
in the
is
dark.
not renew and then hire Great Lakes Energy, but they're gonna come in and require
all new hardware.
all new.
I looked into that.
Yep.
Well, he sat in his very room.
How long ago was that?
Sam, how long ago was that? We had that map out.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And actually,
Counted each one.
you guys actually did a audit for us on our streetlights.
Yes, didn't
And
we
they
give
told
you a
us it
refund?
was.
Yeah, we did.
Don't even go there.
Yeah.
I wasn't even gonna say that,
I thought that was gonna be a winner.
but that was the same meeting. 6
Yeah.
years ago.
I think, what did we get? 2,000?
No, 5,800.
5,800?
Oh.
That just tells you how long you've been beating us up though.
Yeah, let's just be very straightforward. We, like many businesses, did stuff on pencil and paper in the past that have gotten much more computerized. And I will also make that sales pitch to you now. If you do have a light that's out, go online, let us know it's out, and we have to fix it in 3 days, otherwise you start getting a refund.
Yeah, actually it says 5 business days now. But I will tell the public that's the only way to go is online because it's a very simple report street light outage. It's that simple. Type in the address, takes 2 minutes online, submitted, you get information back when they repair it.
And the beauty is you have a record. Instead of
Well,
I
it's so
talked to,
simple.
I can't remember who I talked to, I can't remember when I sent it in.
It's the
So you have a
simplest thing
record.
in the world to do.
Good to hear.
I use it every month.
Less good to hear. I'm gonna just kind of quiet down here.
I'll make a motion to.
Well, hang on, I'm not done yet. Does Consumer still offer that grant for the safe sidewalks or something like that for schools?
No,
No?
I'm not aware of that grant. What I will say is we do have a foundation.
All
And
right.
our foundation supports things like education, economic development, community development. That's online, Consumers Energy Foundation. Go to our website for that.
All right.
Now, let me say, part of my job I look at is fighting to get money up north, okay?
Sure.
We don't have a ton, the majority of our customers are downstate, majority of the money goes down there, but I want to get money up here. But the foundation considers requests from 68 counties.
Sure.
So it's tough to get a grant, it has to really fit the criteria.
That's all I got for you. Thank you.
Tree grants, do you still have any of them?
Yes, I can forward information because it's that time.
If you would,
Forward to you, yes, apply for their tree grants. Typically, have you done any tree trimming in the area recently?
You come through last year and trimmed everything.
Okay, got reliability up? Okay, good. So, that's good in your favor to get a tree grant. If we've been in trimming trees, we like to support that, so I will send you the application for tree grants.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to award the electric franchise to Consumers Energy for the period of 30 years.
Support.
Moved and supported, any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion has carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good seeing you again.
May I just stand out? I normally like to take this opportunity to provide a quick update on Consumers Energy, but I see you have a full agenda.
That's okay.
Can I have a couple of minutes, or should I just hand this out?
You can have a couple of minutes.
Thank you. So, front page just talks about, our reach across the state up on top, and I'll hand a couple of these back here. Anyways, we just like to let folks know a little bit now about our needs across the state. If you look at the top, you know, we're one of Michigan's largest employers, landowners, and taxpayers, almost $500 million in taxes. The Consumers Energy Foundation just talked about $13.5 million we've given there. We also encourage our employees to volunteer in local areas. We're spending $1 billion annually on Pure Michigan Business Connect. We're one of the first companies to get in on that. And we've also, through our energy efficiency programs, please use our energy efficiency programs. Encourage businesses to use them, saved over $1 billion through those. Now, Antrim County locally, we pay almost $500,000 in taxes in Antrim County. $263,000 with Antrim County businesses for utility purchases of Pure Michigan Business Connect. And Antrim County Schools, $400,000 in savings with energy efficiency programs since 2009. Energy efficiency is a big push. The governor is really pushing it, and we're on board with that. And so we're encouraging people to get energy audits to ensure they're using the product wisely. You jump to the back page, second page, page 2. This was a big deal for utilities across the state of Michigan last year. It was a new energy law was passed, and we feel it was a good energy law, and it results in what we consider as a more reliable energy source. Energy sources are getting tight. I'm sure you've noticed that coal plants are closing around. There's 8 closed in the state of Michigan last year, 20 in the Midwest. More are going to close. Coal is just going away. And so the supply is tightening up. And so what this law is requires utilities and third-party suppliers to guarantee that they have the energy that they're promising their customers. We've always had to do it. Third-party suppliers haven't had to provide that guarantee in the past. They do now. Affordable. We're working hard to make our rates affordable. This law requires consumers and every other company that wants to build a power plant to prove that it is the most prudent generation. So you can't just go say, in the past you'd say, we need more power. Public Service Commission would say, okay, go build, prove that you need more power, go build it. Now you have to prove that it is the most economical source. So really right now, you can probably guess, natural gas is the fuel of choice right now. Natural gas is really replacing coal, and natural gas is what's being built. However, we go right down to the bottom too. What this law requires is an uptick in renewable energy. The old law mandated 10%. The new law says 15% of our generation must come from renewable by 2021. That's a challenge, okay? But our customers are demanding it. We embrace it. We'll get there by 2021. That's wind farms. That's solar's really catching on now too. We're building solar farms. And of course, we're one of the first companies with renewable, with hydroelectric energy in northern Michigan. Third page, again, I'm going through this quickly. It's just, you know, like everybody, we're much more aware of the environment now, and so we have sustainability goals. Safety is our top goal. 2015, we were the safest year ever for consumers energy. And those who work with electricity and natural gas know it's a dangerous product. You have to be very careful around it. 2015 was the safest year in our 130-year history. We do social responsibility. I talked about our foundation. We do encourage our employees to volunteer. If we get 5 or more employees or retirees to volunteer anywhere, so if we have retirees around here that you know, encourage them to volunteer, and we will make a contribution to that organization if 5 or more employees or retirees volunteer.
Do they like to use rakes and shovels and go on trails?
That would count.
There you go.
Whatever it would be, that would count. I talked about Pure Michigan Business Connect under economic prosperity, and then environmental quality. And again, renewables, you know, when this law went to, the original law, 2008 went into effect, renewables, frankly, were not competitive. Wind farms were not competitive. But we were forced 10% of our generation. Renewables getting more and more competitive, and more people are demanding it. Big company moved into Grand Rapids called Switch. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a data storage company. They generate a lot of heat. They moved to Michigan because of the temperate climate. We won that company, moved to our service territory. They demanded 100% renewable energy. So that's how far it's going now, and so we met their demand. We'll provide them with 100% renewables. And then the back page is just our assets across the state. I used to work at Big Rock Point. Unfortunately, that's closed, so that's no longer on there. But you can see we do have hydroelectric up here in northern Michigan, and then our other facilities down towards the bottom of the state. Thank you for your time. And if you do have questions, concerns, I'll follow up with the tree grant. Anything else, please give me a call. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tim. We'll see you. Think LED for the village.
Okay, item D in action, approved pay application number 3 to TJM for $112,358.24 for the Thurston Park Improvement Project.
We can do D and E together
Do D and E together,
for
an additional $16,349.59 to TJM for a total of $128,707.83.
707.83. Is that his final payment? Is that it?
That would be it, yeah.
You need a motion? I make a motion to pay.
It's been moved, any support?
I have one question.
Okay.
What if a situation like Lyle with those floor drains, what if we pay this guy off? How do we know that somebody's gonna come back?
A 1-year warranty starting on May 15th, I think it was. So we have a 1 year on this drain. Again, we are documenting the fact that if it's a reoccurring problem, that the warranty would still be honored after May of 18, because it's been a problem identified prior to that. So that's where we're at.
I'll make that support then.
Moved and supported to pay TJM $128,707.83. Roll call, please.
Chapman,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Lovelace,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes. Item F, approved change order for the water main upgrade project of $5,850. Is that the addition of
Meter pits.
meter pits?
Meter pits to be dug out and new ones put in.
Okay,
And there'll be a credit coming on the next bill from them for that.
okay.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Then moved and supported, roll call, please.
Chapman,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Lovelace,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Yes. Approved pay application to Tri-County for $127,876.96 for the water main upgrade project. I think these guys
You've done a wonderful job.
have done a great job, they're way ahead of schedule, I believe, so.
They've done a wonderful job.
I'll make the motion to pay Tri-County for the water main project.
Been moved and supported, roll call.
Chapman,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Lovelace,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Parker.
Yes. Gordy Frazier's, they would like $6,965.25 and $8,278. Did you add those together?
I did. 15,243.25.
No,
I'll
no.
make a motion to pay.
I'll support it.
Been supported, moved, supported, roll call for paying Gordy Frazier.
Chapman,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Lovelace, Patton,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Parker.
Yes. Another one to Gordy Frazier's for $3,065 for Thurston Park Improvement Project. I think that was the addition to the docks work.
Oh,
Boundary survey. Gear change. Yeah, for that.
The permanent dock.
Yeah,
Yep.
mhm.
have a motion?
I'll make a motion to.
Support.
Been moved, supported by Patton to pay Gordy Frazier's $3,065. Roll call, please.
Clark, or Chapman,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Lovelace, Patton,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Parker.
Yes. approve Reeve Riley bid of 5863 for paving Ballard Street.
Where does that?
That is from Lincoln Street to Main Street.
To M88.
M88 on Ballard, which is next to Staples and the building there.
I'll make a motion.
It just says overlay,
Yeah,
so we're just going over.
Inch and a half compressed over top.
iron is,
Well, we got all good in here.
better price than we can come back for.
That's right.
Oh, the road's in real bad shape,
Yeah.
right in that little section right there. And since all of Lincoln Street's looking new and every Bradford, both ends, Cameron, both ends is good, it's easy not to do that little 250-foot stretch.
Need a motion? Motion, support by Lyle. Roll call?
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Lovelace?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yep.
Eckert?
Yes. Approve paying Dean Crandall $9,160. His bill was actually $9,660, but since he has donated $500 towards the project, we're paying $500 less. So that's covered by the grant monies that we received for the North Street Park. So, do a motion to pay Mr. Crandall.
I'll make that one.
Any support?
I'll support.
Moved and supported. Roll call.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Lovelace?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yep.
Eckert?
Yes. Central Lake Development Plan. I think everyone received a copy late, but you do have a copy of this. And this needs to be approved before we can authorize the resolution for the CDBG money. We received some tremendous advice from Northern Lights Economic Alliance, but it was a free service since we haven't contracted with them yet or spent any money yet, but we appreciate their help. Motion to accept the community development plan.
I'll make a motion.
Motion to Chapman, support by Patton. And all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. The resolution, Community Development Block Grant Program, whereas the Village of Central Lake is invited to submit an application for a $261,350 Community Development Block Grant administered by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and whereas the village will use the CDBG funds for the Dock and Pavilion Project, CDBG Area Benefit Project, and whereas matching funds in the amount of $20,000 will be paid with village funds, and whereas this project is consistent with the village's community development plan as described in the CDBG application, and whereas the proposed project will benefit all residents of the project area, and 53.3% of the residents of the village of Central Lake are low and moderate income persons as determined by